What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here, where data empowers true potential and I show you the power of your numbers. In today's video, I am going to be looking at my top 20 performing brands for 2020 and then also show you 10 items that sold for the most amount of money this year. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for joining. Let's jump right in and start looking at my top 20 brands that sold this year. If you are new to this channel, this is the Sarah Styles Sales and Trends dashboard. To track all of your data and then you can have all of these charts and graphs. It is for sale on my website. Link is down below. I'm doing a 50% off for the month of December. So if you're watching this as this is released or in December 2020, there is going to be a sale for that as well. So let's look at it. I like looking at, this is a cumulative chart. We are looking at my sell-through rate over here and then your average sale price. If you're new to the channel, your sell-through rate is going to be how many items have sold of how much that you purchased. So if you have 10 pairs of jeans, you bought 10 pairs of jeans this year and 10 of them sold, your sell-through rate for jeans would be 100%. The higher the sell-through rate, the better it is performing. I like looking at sell-through rate because it really tells you of what you're buying, how things are performing. If you want more details, I do have courses that really go in depth into sell-through rate, how to use it for your benefit to make your most money. And then your average sale price, on average, how are these brands performing? So let me go through and I will read through all of the brands that are selling, and then we'll go through and look at the metrics for all of these to get an idea of kind of how that brand is performing. Top 20 brands for the year for me are Coach, Free People, Vintage, Columbia, Nike, Michael Kors, Calvin Klein, UGG, Marmot, Kate Spade, Arata, Dear John, The North Face, Adidas, Cole Haan, Dansko, Doody & Burke, Ideology, Lucky Brand, and St. John. So let me get into the details of all of these and talk a little bit about how they're performing. These are best performing for me. These brands have made me the most money, but they've made me money for different reasons, and I'm going to show you what those are. Coach, 81% of the Coach that I have purchased this year has sold. That's ridiculous. Like, that is wild. So anything is performing better than my average. My average sell-through rate for the year is 55% of what I've purchased this year. 55% has sold. I'm going to give a disclosure. I am filming this at the end of November, so this does not have December data in it. Keep that in mind. But this is significantly higher than that 55%. My average sale price is also $60. Coach is where it's at for me. There's no surprise if you watch this channel. I love selling Coach. However, not all Coach sells the same. So watch some of my what sold videos to see what kind of Coach that I like selling. Kate Spade. Kate Spade is up there. 71% of Kate Spade. Average sale price is $65. I'm going to note too that those are purses. Like 90% of Coach and Kate Spade for me are purses. I did forget this little one up here. So it is 100% sell-through rate for St. John at a $77 average sale price. I mean, no surprise if you guys are in the reselling community, St. John does sell high, and I have sold all of the St. John that I have purchased this year. Michael Kors is up there. Michael Kors, the majority of my Michael Kors is going to be purses. I will sell select shoes and jackets for Michael Kors as well. 65% of the Michael Kors I have purchased this year has sold at an average sale price of $56. Continue to pick those up, Sarah. I'm going to note too, on this chart, up in here is going to be my BOLO brands. It means that I'm selling through a lot of them and they're selling at a high sale price. So let's look. Doody & Burke, those are going to be purses as well. Purses is where it's at for me. If I could strictly sell purses, I would. However, it's hard to find purses. I can't get enough inventory to find the purses, especially, you know, in the pandemic when I'm not sourcing at thrift stores is often. So I would sell them. Obviously, based off of my data, it would be a good move. 76%, $51. Marmot. So Marmot, these are going to be, keep this in mind when you think about the average sale price. Most of the Marmot is going to be new with tags. I've started purchasing liquidation pallets, so a lot of that is going to be the new with tags. However, I do live in Colorado. Marmot is a brand that I see fairly often, so some of those are thrift store finds. 75% of that sells as well as $51 average sale price. Uggs, there we go. Uggs, 75% of the Uggs that I have purchased this year have sold at $51. Columbia. So Columbia, you know, honestly, Columbia is, so it goes, you know, Marmot's up there, Spiders up there, Patagonia, the North Face, those are all higher brands than Columbia. Columbia sells though, y'all. Like 76% of the Columbia I've purchased this year has sold. A good percent of that Columbia is going to be new with tags. I'd probably say 60% of that Columbia is new with tags from the palette. So that average sale price is a little bit higher than if you're finding used stuff, as well as the Columbia that I typically pick up are going to be boots and jackets. So those are going to be selling a little bit higher as well. The North Face, love me some North Face. Part of the problem with this is I keep a lot of it for myself. I do love wearing the North Face. 87% of the North Face for me has sold this year at an average sale price of $35 for the North Face. That is because I'm not finding as many of the North Face jackets. So that average sale price is a little less than Columbia because Columbia is more jackets. In general, though, the North Face is going to sell higher. If you had like the North Face jacket and a Columbia jacket, North Face is going to sell a little bit higher. Dansko, 80% of Dansko has sold. I used to not pick up Dansko because I really don't think that they're very cute, but I sell based off of my numbers. 80% of my Danskos have sold. $33 average sale price, so not a huge average sale price for sure compared to some of my other brands, but 80% of them are selling. I will absolutely take that. Dear John, so I purchased some inventory from my cousin's boutique that shut down. It had a lot of Dear John in it. 75% of that has sold at an average sale price of $27. That's all new with tax, so keep that in mind when you look at that price. Lucky Brand, this is all new with tags. I do not pick up Lucky Brand from thrift stores. It does not sell, I mean, average sale price of $27 new with tags. So typically speaking, Lucky Brand from the thrift store used is going to sell much lower than that. It's typically not worth my time unless it's something like really unique or maybe a jacket or something, but 73% has sold through. So these brands, I'm selling them through. They're also selling a bit higher. Free People, Free People is all from the palette. So this is all new with tags, 37% average sale price. 70% of the Free People that I have purchased has sold this year. Cole Haan, this is mainly shoes, some purses. Yeah, 61% has sold, so that still is above my average sell-through rate for the year at $41. The $41 is being pushed up by purses. Purses are going to sell a little bit higher than shoes, depending on what kind of shoes you have. Arada is from my cousin's boutique. I've found that this brand is kind of sought after. People that like the brand, it kind of has like a following, right? So 62% of that has sold, all new with tags again. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind, these are gross numbers. So this is, you know, doesn't take out my costs, doesn't take out fees and stuff as well. Vintage, this is going to be a full disclosure for my vintage. Vintage actually for the year was not performing very well for me. So I actually did like a liquidation of my vintage and sold it off pretty cheap to some other vintage sellers. And so while it produced a lot of revenue, I was not making a lot of profit on it because I was selling that off at cost to some other vintage sellers in hopes that they could do it as well. So it is being pushed up. 32 average sale price is being pushed up by some of the pieces that I sold for a little bit higher. Nike, 56% sell-through rate, average sale price is $29. I'm going to say one thing on this Nike is the sell-through rate is a little bit less than normal, and that's because the past few weeks I have listed some Nike. So that's kind of been suppressing my sell-through rate because I just listed it. So saying that it's all going to sell right now is not really manageable. But 56% of my Nike is selling at $29 average sale price. Calvin Klein, 53%. So now I'm kind of right at my average. So Calvin Klein for me is selling on average, doing well for me on average sale price $25. So Calvin Klein is new with tags. The Calvin Klein that I am is from the purchase new with tags. Would I purchase Calvin Klein on its own? Typically not, but some of the palettes that I've purchased, you get some of the good stuff. You know, it comes with some Nike, but then they also throw in some of the Calvin Klein. It is performing. I don't know that I would only buy Calvin Klein. Again, I have recently just put some new Calvin Klein into my inventory, so that sell-through rate is suppressed just a little. Adidas as well, so 42% sell-through rate for Adidas, $35 average sale price. I'm liking that average sale price. That's right around where I like to be, and I'll share with you guys up here. My average sale price is, you know, $34. Anything above that for me is better than my average. I talk about that in the courses that I provide as well, because you need to have metrics to compare. How do you compare? What do you compare to? I talk about that in the course as well. So Adidas, and then up here you have ideology. The thing that I want to talk about with ideology, while it did make my top 20 brands, that is strictly because I have a lot of it. The circle, so on the chart, the bigger the circle, the bigger amount of inventory that I have. But you can see that I only have a 14% sell-through rate for this. So this is why it's important to look at your sell-through rate. If I just looked at how much money ideology is bringing me, I'd go out and buy more ideology, because I'm like, oh, it made my top 20 brands, let me go buy some more. However, I'm only selling 14% of it. So it's really not performing that well. Little bit of disclosure, this month I have been adding in activewear, prepping for January, hoping to sell some activewear in January. So I have listed quite a bit of ideology. I'm going to keep an eye on that brand and see how it is performing for me. It is only at a $20 average sale price, so I will keep a lower average sale price if it's going to have a higher sell-through rate. So those are my top 20 brands. I'd love to hear your guys' top 20 brands. Let's go ahead and get into the items that sold, the 10 items that I sold for the most amount of money in 2020. I do want to remind you, if you guys do like content like this, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications. Feel free, or please like and save and subscribe and leave comments. Those are all completely free ways that you can support my YouTube channel, help me get more viewers so that other people can see it as well, and just support my small business. So let's get into it. These are in no particular order, just the order that came up. So these Fry items, these Fry boots sold for $178 on Poshmark. Gucci, so these Gucci, some of these are not going to be much of a surprise if you guys are resellers, but Gucci sells. I was really surprised these actually sold. They sold about a month ago. You know, things are starting to shut down. It's fall. I'm not sure who's wearing Gucci heels right now, but you know, I will take it. And I do want to mention, so I do have how long I had these items before. So the Fry boots I had for 2 months. The Gucci, they were on hand for 5 months. Burberry, so this sold, I mean, no surprise that Burberry sold high. The thing with this Burberry though, I did have it on hand for a month and a half, but it's not actually a true indicator how long I had it for, because it did sell within like 2 weeks of it being listed, but then it got returned. So from when I purchased it to when I sold it the second time was a month and a half, but by the time it got returned and then it sold that second time, I had only relisted it for a week. So it definitely sold. I'm going to say I paid up for this too. I found it at a thrift store and I think I paid $50 for it. I don't always pay up for things, but for a Burberry jacket that sold, you know, within 2 weeks of it listed the first time, a week in the second time, and for $179, yes, I will pay $50 for that. This Marmot, this is the new with tags. This is part of the palette that I purchased. Marmot sells high, especially new with tags. This Marmot I had on hand for 6 days before it sold. This purse, I purchased at a consignment store. I took some items in, sold them back, and then used this for credit. It sold the day I listed it for full asking. Yes, please. I will take that. I'm learning this brand. I have another one that's canvas and it's sitting a little bit longer. So I think there's specific styles and colors that people are looking for. This Coach bag. I tried some retail arbitrage. We have a Coach outlet here in Colorado. I went down and bought some stuff on one of their big sales. I had this listed for over a year. It sold for $150, but by the time you took out what I paid for it, because it was retail arbitrage, what I paid for it and the fees and stuff, I made like $20, I think, on it. So retail arbitrage, not so good at that. Sorel boots, these Sorel boots, I had them on hand for 10 days. They sold very high. I paid up for these too. These were new with tags at a thrift store. I think I paid 40 to 50 bucks for them, but they sold in 10 days for $175. I will take that. Michael Kors, $157. This actually, and full disclosure, this actually sold on eBay. I cannot find a way to find items that I sold previous to 90 days on eBay. So I did bring this up from Poshmark, but I will say that it did sell on eBay. I just wanted to have something for you guys to see. I had it on hand for 4 months. It was listed at $157. It sold at $129. This Zadig and Voltaire, I think it was like a highly sought after, maybe like a special edition. Someone actually asked me if I had the original pin that it came with. I did not. I found this. A friend of mine found it at the bins, and I purchased some stuff from them from the bins. So this sold in 12 days. This also sold on eBay, but I couldn't go back far enough to find the listing for you guys. It sold on eBay for $135, I think. And then my last one is the most random thing. So I tried ThredUp this year. I have since been trying to pull my inventory from it, but they changed their policies and I can't pull all my inventory. I have to wait and it's a big hassle. Not a fan, completely honest. I've done some videos on the pros and cons. I have not done a video since I've decided to pull all my inventory. Maybe I will add that, but this was one of the items that if all my stuff was selling like this, I would have kept it like that. That's not the case. This item's really funny because, so this is for my palette. It sold for $149. It was new with tags. The tag was only $120. So ThredUp actually listed it higher. So you can see the retail, $198. They listed the retail higher, like by $60 than what it was actually on the tag. I thought for sure it would get returned. Someone paid $149. So even more than new. They didn't return it. Keep in mind on ThredUp, it's a consignment, so you get a much lower profit. My profit on this was $105. Like I said, watch some of my what sold videos. That is not my experience with most of my inventory on ThredUp. So those are my BOLO brands for 2020. I'd love to hear what your guys' top performing brands for the year were, as well as some of your top sales. Do consider subscribing and hitting that notification if you do like content like this. My videos are going to be based on data, on facts, showing you my numbers, teaching you how to look at your numbers so that you can hit your truest potential with your reselling business. Give me a like on your way up, drop those comments down below, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.